If Snoop's gonna take it back, then I am too. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today, we are going to talk about Snoop Dogg's 15th studio album called Neva Left. Now, obviously, I don't have to give you guys a big introduction when it comes to Snoop because he's been in the game for so long. And not only is he a hip-hop icon, he's also a pop culture icon. I think everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is, even your grandmother. Now, Snoop is, of course, known for the gangsta shit that he popularized on Doggy Style, but over the years, he has experimented with a lot of other sounds, including when he went through that little reggae phase as Snoop Lion, and when he put out that really dope funk project with Pharrell called Bush. So now that I saw this album cover right here has him looking like he's on that old school shit, I got really excited to check this project out because I wanted to know what sort of sound he'd be coming with. I got a little bit of an answer there once I heard the single Mount Rushmore, where we get this 90s G-Funk beat, as well as features from some other 90s legends, Be Real, Method Man, and Redman. And this was just a really dope track overall, so I was excited to check this one out, and after a couple of listens, I gotta say, man, it's at its best when Snoop Dogg is really going back to that old school style. For example, on Back in the Days, we get this hard-ass G-Funk production that reminded me of that 90s death row shit as Snoop is just spitting all kinds of gangsta-isms over top of it. And even more old school is the remix of Vapors on here. If you're not familiar with Vapors, it's a song that was on his underrated album, The Dogfather. This album just gets slandered all the time, but I mean, it would be very hard to follow up Doggy Style with anything. So I think that project kind of got swept under the rug because of how good Doggy Style was. But if you go back and check that album today, there are a lot of good songs, including the original Vapors. But I actually like this remix a little bit better. And as far as the content on that song, it's very interesting because Snoop is rapping about how he, Nate Dogg, Dayz, and Warren G got treated differently once they succeeded. So there is a little bit of good content on some of these tracks, and I really like these old school vibes. And on the topic of old school vibes, we got to talk about how on the opening track, Neva Left, we hear the iconic piano sample from Wu-Tang Clan's track Cream. Now, they do add some instruments onto this beat, so it's not like a straight up jack. It is a little bit different and refreshed or rejuvenated, if you will. I will, because I just said it. And I do like the content on this one because Snoop is really opening up about his gangbanging past while also questioning the authenticity of other rappers out there who claim to be about that life. He really is just letting us know on this song that he didn't go anywhere, he's still here, he's been through it all and seen it all, he just never left, which, you know, as the title suggests, is one of the main themes of this project. So it's actually kind of cool when Snoop is rapping about some of these things that he's seen and what he's been through, including on the song Promise You This, where Snoop is rapping about people who feel as if he owes them something despite all the work that he's already put in throughout his career. And on Big Mouth, he's obviously addressing all these people who got big mouths and just run off at the mouth all the time over anything. So with these sorts of topics, they might not seem that deep coming from anyone else, but from an OG like Snoop Dogg, it really does hold a lot of weight when he's giving you this advice and just speaking on some of the things that he's seen. So you got to take it serious. But just like with his album Kool-Aid, this one definitely comes through with some genericism and filler tracks. You got the track 420, which is alright. It's just this guitar-laced stoner track featuring Wiz Khalifa and Devin the Dude. And then you got Trash Bags with K-Camp. This one is just your regular run-of-the-mill strip club joint with some thick bass. So with these two tracks, they're not all out terrible. Like, you don't hear them and go, wow, what is Snoop Dogg thinking? This is garbage. They're just so typical that there's nothing interesting about them. The bars aren't heavy, the content is nothing new, and there aren't any interesting angles or approaches taken with these songs. They really just are what they are. I also felt that the production got a little bit stale and samey on tracks like Toss It, Promise You This, and Moment I Feared, because all you're in for with these tracks is just that generic DJ Mustard / Bay Area sound. And I find these type of beats, if they don't have a lot of layers or if they're not hard as fuck, they're just very forgettable. So those were 3 tracks that I didn't really care for and I wouldn't come back to. Although I do gotta say, Too Short had a pretty good verse on Toss It because he's coming with that usual humorous pimp shit where he's just rapping about being an old crusty ass nigga who still gets some young bitches. That's basically what he's saying. I mean, I'm not here like trying to call him old and talk all this shit on Too Short. I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying that's what he's saying in his damn verse. But on the topic of features, we gotta talk about KRS-One on Let It Begin because I think he stole the show on this whole project. He has this really dope verse where he's using these brat, brat, brat gunfire sounds throughout, but he's using it in a very interesting way as he's just talking about violence in the streets and war overseas. And this track overall just has this really nice feel to it. You got this funky bass line from DJ Battlecat, and KRS and Snoop are just speaking to the youth. They're talking about things like diversifying, getting educated, and just not resorting to violence. So I definitely respect how these two OGs came together to put out a positive message. So at the end of the day, to me, this is a pretty good album. Definitely not trash, definitely not great, and I would give it a 3 out of 5 because I do like a handful of tracks here. It was really cool to hear them come with that old school sound, but god damn it, man. I wish he could have kept with that rather than coming through with all these fillerish moments, all those generic moments that really bogged this album down quite a bit. Now, I do have to mention you will get some Bush-inspired funk on the track Go On, so that one was kind of fun for what it is, just a funky little jam. And then, the worst track by far to me has got to be Still Here. It has this wonky, reggae-infused production. Kendrick is featured just to talk on the intro, not to spit any bars or do a hook, which seems like a complete waste to me, so that track was easily the worst track on here. I would skip that one every time I listen to this project. But at the end of the day, I will keep a couple of these tracks. You guys check it out for yourself, and then hit me up in the comments section to let me know what you think. Do you like where Snoop is going? What do you want to hear from Snoop at this point in his career? And always, make sure you do all that good YouTube and social media stuff, man, where you follow me, you like, you share, you retweet. You know how it goes. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.